What does it mean to be independent?
Ang naiisip ko doon ay malaya tayong magbigay ng tulong sa mga taong dapat tulungan. At saka malaya tayong makipag-usap sa mga nanunungkulan natin.
So, independence for me is a state wherein a country is governed or ruled by itself without the influence of other countries, and it's a state wherein a country isn't subservient to the needs and commands of other countries or rulers.
So when you say independence, it's more on pagiging malaya, no? Para may freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom, any freedom na masabi natin for independence.
The author, Rosario Bautista, was born on December 7, 1830. He attended preparatory school in Binyan and studied law at the University of Santo Tomas, obtaining a degree in 1865. He then practiced law in Manila and offered free legal services to poor clients. He was the confidant of General Emilio Aguinaldo and a distant relative of the Rizal family, and he also served as the Solicitor General of the revolutionary government. He died at the age of 72 on December 4, 1903. Some of the facts that make the author dependable is that he was the author and the one who read the Declaration of Philippine Independence on June 12, 1898 in Kawit, Cavite, which makes him a primary source. Since the Philippines was colonized by the Spanish in the latter part of the 16th century, opposition to Spanish rule began. In the late 19th century, Filipino intellectuals and the middle class began calling for independence. Additionally, with the government in operation, Aguinaldo thought that it was necessary to declare the independence of the Philippines. He believed that such a move would inspire the people to fight more eagerly against the Spaniards and at the same time lead the foreign countries to recognize the independence of the country. It can be inferred that the thought of Aguinaldo was probably influenced by Bautista, since he was the advisor and general de guerra of Aguinaldo to whom he asked for advice.
It was the time wherein the Philippines was freed from the colonization of the Spaniards. But shortly after, the Spaniards ceded the Philippines to the Americans that initiated and sparked the pre-American Philippine War. It was during the year 1896 when the Philippine Revolutionary began. And with the Filipinos being continuously oppressed by the Spaniards, they became rebels and planned to fight back towards the Spaniards. Furthermore, a passage in the Constitution reminds the American Declaration of Independence of another passage, and a number of 98 men, including an American Army officer who witnessed the declaration, signed the Philippine Declaration. Following the declaration, elections were held for a new national legislature, the Malolos Congress. They wrote a democratic constitution and ratified the Philippine independence, reaffirming the proclamation that was made. They ratified and put in place a new constitution, the Malolos Constitution, which became the basic law of the Philippines. It established a democratic republic, placing the sovereignty back to the Filipino people, which paved the way for the inauguration of the first Philippine Republic. However, in between those events, the Declaration of Philippine Independence was invalidated by the Treaty of Paris, to which the Spanish government ceded the Philippines to the United States.
In the general run of things, the Filipinos were in pursuit of freedom, for people were already tired of bearing the menacing oppression and Spanish domination over the Philippines. Luzon, Mindanao, and Panay were the places where the revolutionary movement started. In line with this, the Philippines had 8 provinces, namely Manila, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Bulacan, Pampanga, Tarlac, and Nueva Ecija, which were placed under martial law by the Spanish colonial authorities. These provinces declared themselves in a state of war as soon as the first revolt was initiated. Independence is the freedom from being governed or ruled by another country. Sovereignty is the freedom from external control or autonomy. Acta is narrative of deeds, recorded proceedings, official acts. Revolution is an activity or movement designed to effect fundamental changes in the socio-economic situation. Constitution is the basic, fundamental law of a state which sets out how that state will be organized. Republic is a state in which supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives. On the other hand, the main concept accentuated in the document was the proclamation of the sovereignty and independence of the Philippine Islands from the colonial rule of Spain. Upon reading the text, learning during the earlier years of education were disproven and made clear. First is that Emilio Aguinaldo never waved the Philippine flag, for it was Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, who was the author of Philippine Declaration of Independence, read the acta, and waved the flag. Second, the flag colors were based from the American flag. Nowhere in the document states the meaning of these colors other than being derived from the American flag. Third, the flag's 3 stars represented Luzon, Mindanao, and Panay, not Visayas. It was only later in 1899 that Panay was changed to Visayas instead.
The document holds great importance in the past of the Philippines, for it bears the initial foundation of our government. Moreover, the document gives us the idea of all the occurrence during that time, all the factors that has been considered in relation to the declaration. In line with the reconstruction of the past, the document will guide historians and other scholars of what constitutes the declaration, prior events leading to another. It will provide enlightenment to inconsistencies in our history, for it holds the truth, it holds the reality in our history.
It can be used as a primary source wherein all the consciousness of the time is gathered. Filipinos were given what was rightfully theirs, such as the land and resources. There was a dynamic shift in the things that the Filipino people were exposed from a colonized country to an independent country. It involves a direct concern towards the political transition of the Philippines. The declaration is caused by the rejection of the colonizers to royal order provided by the Church. It also gives the boundaries to the territory that the Philippine government is able to rule in accordance with the declaration. It will equip the youth in critical analysis.
Is the Philippines truly independent?
Sa tingin ko, medyo hindi pa.
Theoretically speaking, we are considered as an independent country. However, once we take into consideration our country's history and our current situation with both America and China, we start to see that we aren't completely independent or completely free as a country, because our economy, our politics, and even our culture is heavily influenced by these two countries.
In terms na pagiging malaya, we have our own sovereign naman, no? Malaya tayo to have our own to exercise our own political will, parang gano'n, no? Pero yung pagiging malaya in terms of dun sa mga sumakop sa atin, I think hindi pa.
The independence of our country was fought for by our ancestors with their whole blood and might. In line with their sacrifices, it is essential to contemplate as we commemorate the Philippine independence. As what Mr. Jose Victor Torres, the author of the Batis book, said, the country has been independent for a long time. He noted that people who say that we are not truly independent insult the notable people who fought for our independence. He added that what we, as Filipinos, failed to do is to secure ginhawa, as termed by him, that supposedly happened after the Declaration of Independence. In other words, we were already set free during the year 1898, but we were not prepared to do the things that must be done after the proclamation.